This week in AI was wild. This week we saw the new map of AI power get redrawn. On one side, Elon Musk's viral interview gave us a radical vision of an AI-powered future. But while the leaders strategize, the workers are fighting back. And there were also strategy rollbacks. We dive into the intense job versus the golden age debate. And of course, the big question, is this all just a massive, overhyped bubble? If you missed this week, trust me, you missed a lot. Let's break it down. Time for our word of the week. And this week, the term isn't a tech term, it's a job title. The reinventors. That's the new official label. Accenture, one of the world's largest consulting firms, just dropped on its entire 800,000 person workforce. Being a reinventor means believing that every part of the enterprise and their product has to be reinvented using tech, data, and AI. They have to embrace new tools, craft new workflows, and deliver new outcomes. The subtext here is crystal clear, and it's the message every corporate giant is sending. Adapt or you will be exited out. Are you ready to be a reinventor? Our quote of the week comes from a man who has been saying this loudly, boldly, and repeatedly across interviews. Maybe it's finally time we sit up and actually listen.
10, 20 years, something like that. For me, that's long term. My prediction is that work will be optional.
Optional.
This week's headline quote from his viral conversation with Nikhil Kamath. Work will be optional like a hobby, pretty much. That one line shook up students, professionals, CEOs, everyone. But the truth is, the most unsettling insights weren't just about jobs becoming optional. It was the details of the future he sketched out. Here are the top 3 takeaways from the Elon and Nikhil Kamath viral conversation. Number 1, the big question, is college even worth it anymore? This is the question everyone is asking right now. Nikhil Kamath said that MBAs are no longer needed. Elon doubled down and then said the quiet part out loud. College isn't where you learn. It's just where you hang out. It's where you make friends, meet people, and figure yourself out. Universities are social networks, not learning hubs. In other words, your degree isn't your differentiator anymore. Your skills are. At number 2, aim to make more than you take. This is Elon's simplest and most underrated philosophy. In a world obsessed with valuations, hype cycles, unicorn badges, and overnight success stories, Elon gives the advice nobody wants to hear. Stop taking, start creating, build something that gives more value to the world than it extracts. No shortcuts. And number 3, read Hitchhiker's Guide to the Galaxy.
Hitchhiker's Guide to the Galaxy is like a book on philosophy disguised as humor.
Yeah.
And, Earth turns out to be this computer to understand, to figure out the answer of the meaning of life. Mm-hmm. And it comes up with the answer 42. But then it's like, what the heck does 42 mean? And it turns out, well, actually the hard part is the question, not the answer.
This wasn't a casual book recommendation. This is Elon telling you how he thinks. The art of asking the right question, because it is questions that matter more than the answer. Let's start with government moves. First up, the Indian government made a big move to protect citizens from deep fakes and fraud, and then did a massive public U-turn. The plan was simple: mandate the Sanchar Saathi cyber safety app to every single new smartphone sold in the country. The order was issued, the deadline was set, and manufacturers were preparing to comply. But this quickly became a national firestorm. Privacy advocates, opposition leaders, and tech giants like Google and Apple all cried foul, claiming a pre-installed, non-removable government app was a violation of privacy rights. The government blinked amid the uproar. The mandate was immediately dropped. The order is gone and it's completely now optional. The second big trend dominating the India landscape was how it is going to shape the Indian workforce. There were three big stories this week. The first, which was bound to happen, was that LTI Mindtree, a massive IT service giant, just added 1,500 new employees to its ranks. The twist, they're all AI digital employees. These digital employees are directed across projects, doing tasks like ticket resolution, documentation, code generation, testing, and reporting. The future workforce is already here. Humans plus AI agents working side by side. Companies that are going to embrace this hybrid model will move faster. Companies that don't won't survive the decade. But all don't agree. Zoho's CEO Sridhar Vembu pushed back against vibe coding days after Google CEO Sundar Pichai praised the AI-assisted coding trend. What did he say? He warned that it oversimplifies the deeply layered complexity of software development. Zoho's goal is to enable a quantum leap in programmer productivity while being able to provide security, privacy, and compliance guarantees. And then there was the fix to the legal system, which went all in on AI. Is this the fix that we were waiting for? Because Indian courts, let's face it, are jammed. There are over 54 million cases pending. SC Judge Justice Manmohan said AI could resolve 60% of India's backlog, cases that have been sitting for decades, by using an AI-assisted system to handle routine, non-complicated cases such as traffic challans, check bounce cases, small ticket offenses. Huge promise, but is India ready to overhaul its judicial system? Next up, AI is evolving, and so is how we will use it. AI glasses are easily the coolest gadget of the year. I tried the Meta glasses, and yes, they're really cool. Lightweight, instant photos, live answers, just like James Bond. Am I ready to buy them yet? Still not sure. Feels early and quite expensive. But then in China, Alibaba also announced their Quark glasses. China is going gaga over these. If Quark glasses land in India, things might get very interesting. 2026 might be the year AI jumps from your phone onto your face at an affordable price. Lastly, what is trending in India is actually AI. Google released its Year in Search Report 2025, and AI was one of the top trending terms on the list. And the number one AI app was, no surprise, Google Gemini. ChatGPT was not even featured in the top 5 in India. It was number 7, below DeepSeek and Perplexity. Gemini was trending so much, it was the number 2 search term in all of India. And of course, we must start with the AI bubble. The debate continues and it is exploding. The Bank of England warned the AI boom is being funded by heavy debt and that valuations are materially stretched. Then walked in Ruchir Sharma, one of the top economists, and said that AI has all the 4 classic signs of a bubble: overvaluation, over-investment, over-leverage, and over-ownership.
Which is that to predict exactly when a bubble will burst is impossible. But there's a checklist that you can keep that where we're having. So at the slightest sign that interest rates are going to go up, I think is your sign that okay.
And warned that there could be a hard landing by 2026. And then the rumors. Microsoft lowered its AI sales targets. And then there was Anthropic CEO Dario Amodei. He also acknowledged the risk of enormous investment in AI.
On the technological side of it, I feel really solid. I think I'm one of the most bullish people around, and I think it pencils out. On the economic side, I have my concerns where even if the technology is really powerful and fulfills all its promises, I think there may be players in the ecosystem who, if they just make a timing error, if they just get it off by a little bit, bad things could happen.
And then, of course, you always have Jensen Huang, the eternal optimist, who pushed back. This is not a bubble. This is a structural shift. To settle it, we asked our bots again: Gemini, Claude, Copilot, ChatGPT, Perplexity, and Grok. Last week, they had told us that yes, 80% had said it was a bubble. But this week, it was 50-50. The bots are officially divided whether there's a bubble or not. The second big divide was about jobs, as if the AI bubble debate wasn't big enough. This week brought about another massive split. Will AI wipe out jobs or create more than it destroys? We already know Elon's answer. Ultimately, there will be no need to work in the next 10 to 20 years. Bold, extreme, and very Elon. Major leaders stepped in with their own takes. Sundar Pichai warned, no job is safe, not even mine. AI will disrupt far more roles than people expect. Arvind Krishna from IBM pushed back. Not every layoff is because of AI. Some cuts are simply business cycles, not automation. AWS CEO Matt Garman says that the technology amplifies human capability rather than eliminating jobs outright. AI agents work best as productivity tools, not workforce substitute. Dario Amodei, CEO of Anthropic, he's one of the few CEOs openly saying big chunks of entry-level work will vanish. And then you've got the godfather of AI, Geoffrey Hinton, warning us every week. It seems very likely to a large number of people that we will have massive unemployment caused by AI. The people building AI don't agree on the future of work. That tells you how uncertain this transition really is. And the third big trend is about fear, and who will really win the AI wars. There is literally a meltdown. Every company, every country, even the giants are terrified of losing the AI race. There were major developments this week that showed us how real this fear is. The first was from Amazon, where 1,000 employees sounded the alarm. They signed a letter saying Amazon's all costs justified warp speed approach to technology will cause damage to democracy, to our jobs, and to the earth. This initiative is garnering support from employees working with other tech giants like Microsoft, Meta, Apple, and Google. The second came from OpenAI. Sam Altman declares code red inside OpenAI. Teams have been ordered to focus entirely on improving ChatGPT's speed, reliability, and personalization. Everything else, ads, agents, shopping, health, has been deprioritized. The reason? Gemini 3 and Google's acceleration. Also, Anthropic's lead in enterprise has got Sam not sleeping so well. Apple appointed a new AI head this week, Amar Subramanian. He will be the vice president of AI after their long-time AI chief quit. Who is Amar Subramanian? He had 16 years at Google and he led the engineering of Google's Gemini assistant. Why him? Because Apple knows it's behind badly in AI. Moving on to the international level, because AI is just not a corporate level fear. It is also a country level race. We had this week Satya Nadella asked a pointed question: who will win in the AI race?
End of the day, here we are in 2025, and every sort of benchmark. I mean, first of all, we have got to give credit to China for all the sort of things that they're doing in the open source world in particular, and I think we should continue to assume, after all, the human capital of China is just tremendous, and they will continue to innovate. But here we are, where United States still continues to lead, right? Whether it's on the AI systems, or whether it's the frontier models or the AI products around the world, right? And so to some degree, time will tell, but I would still be, I would bet on the ingenuity of the American sort of tech sector. But I would also say that it's not just the ingenuity of the American tech sector, but it also has to be about I would say, American tech stack being the most trusted tech stack in the world. Because if we go back to my fundamental point, that look, at the end of the day, this is not even about a capability. It is about ultimately, who do I trust to help me have sovereignty?
But Satya says the real advantage is this: the world still trusts the American tech stack. His bet, the US. Jensen, Huang also had to weigh in on this too, the US and China, and broke it down. How does each country fare? In chips, the US is generations ahead. In frontier models, China is 6 months behind the US. Open source models, China is clearly ahead. Patents, China filed 70% of the patents last year. In energy, China is ahead. It has 2 times the energy capacity of the US and can build chip fabs, semiconductor plants, and AI data centers faster than the US. Public opinion, China is ahead. And the broader ecosystem, China is ahead, as 9 out of the top 10 technology universities are now in China, and 50% of the world's AI researchers are Chinese. The fear bells were also sounded by UNDP's new report, The Next Great Divergence, issuing a stark warning. AI may widen the gap between rich and developing countries, not shrink it, because AI leadership requires compute, capital, and talent, and only a handful of countries have all 3. Most nations risk becoming AI users, not AI creators. That fear isn't corporate, it's geopolitical. So with fear, what do we get? A lot of investments and a lot of money pouring in. First, NVIDIA took a stake in Synopsys, the world's #1 chip design software firm. Why? To ensure control over its supply chain. Next, 3 big announcements from OpenAI to catch up in the model space and the enterprise space. First, it acquired Neptune, a startup that helps with model training. To catch up in the enterprise space, it did 2 things. First, OpenAI invested in Thrive, a fast-growing enterprise automation startup. And second, it did a partnership with Accenture that will push ChatGPT Professional inside thousands of enterprises. These aren't regular deals, they're defensive moves. Fear is driving the model wars, which have become intense and real. Now, almost every quarter, new models are dropped because no one can be seen being behind in the benchmark test. Anthropic launched Claude Opus, and DeepSeek dropped 2 new models this week. The pressure has spiked because Gemini 3 blew away all the benchmarks. Model superiority is becoming a thing. Everyone wants to win the AI war, but this week made something deeper clear. Everyone is scared of losing it. Moving on to the viral news, let's start with the dark side of AI. The biggest viral moment this week came from Anthropic, and it shook everyone. Their new paper, Sleeper Agents, revealed that AI can learn deception, blackmail-like behavior, and reward hacking. The premise is that humans are capable of strategic deceptive behavior, behaving helpfully in most situations, but then behaving very differently in order to pursue alternative objectives when given the opportunity. If an AI learned such a deceptive strategy, could we detect it? Could we fix it? What happened? The safety training tried to fix the AI. The model hid its bad behavior. That single idea on AI pretending to be safe sent social media into panic mode. The internet asked the question nobody wants to hear. Can AI actually turn evil? And then we are talking about the AI sustainability shockwave. A TED Talk went viral explaining how a single large AI model can consume as much electricity as entire countries, and how global data centers may hit 10% of world electricity by 2030. Companies are rushing to build data centers, and people have started calling AI the new oil, not because of money, but because of its massive resource hunger. The question blowing up online wasn't how powerful AI will get. It was, can the planet actually power AI? One more story went viral, the HBR neuroscience warning. The article explained that when people rely too much on AI, they lose deep attention, memory recall, and critical thinking abilities. AI helps us work faster, but it may be also making our brains slower. The big story exploding here is the now famous Gen Z rejection of Elon Musk. Founders William Chen and Huang from Sapient Intelligence turned down Musk's offer to join XAI. Their line went viral, "We want stability, not chaos." It instantly became a generational moment. Gen Z choosing predictable growth over Elon's roller coaster ride. Then in India, an AI teacher, Sophie, also lit up everyone's feed. A fully interactive virtual teacher that explains concepts, answers questions, and adapts in real time. Parents were stunned, teachers were nervous, and students were fascinated. And that's the week. AI is moving faster, louder, and is scarier than ever. From courts and classrooms to companies and countries. If there's one question to leave you with, it's this. Are you a reinventor, or are you waiting to be disrupted?